Good morning, yogis, and welcome to this Wake Me Up morning flow. This is a nice, easy-paced routine that I like to do in the mornings to wake up the body and get the blood flowing and the muscles moving. It's a nice, gentle pace flow that is the perfect thing to do when you roll out of bed. So to get started, we're going to gently close down the eyes and focus in on our breath. If you've just started your day, letting go of the night before. Letting go of the sleep that you had. And embracing the new day for what it is. Breathing in through the nose. And holding. And out through the mouth. And again, breathing in and holding at the top and out through the mouth. And one more time, breath in and out. Taking a few more breaths in your own time. And just setting an intention for what you want your day to be today. Your intention could be a word or a sentence. Maybe it's positivity, strength, courage, calm. Anything that you want to project into your day. Taking in one more breath, in through the nose and out. And gently opening up the eyes. So to get started, we'll move on to our knees, coming into maybe the middle of your mat. And we're just going to be starting off with some easy back bends, just to wake up the spine and get the blood flowing. So on our next breath in, sweeping our right arm back behind us and sweeping the left arm in front. Breath in, sweeping the left arm back towards the back wall. And breathing out, coming back to center. And breath in, this time the left arm behind us, right arm reaching back. And breath out. Again, breath in, right arm behind us, left arm towards the wall. Hips lifting up towards the sky. And breath out, back to center. And again, breath in, left arm behind us, right arm's reaching back, hips up towards the sky. And releasing back to center. And one last time each side, breath in, reaching our left arm towards the back wall. And breath out, coming back to center. And one more time, left arm behind us, breathing in. And releasing, shaking those arms out. Next, we're going to be coming to a tabletop position, so bringing your hands below your shoulders and your knees below your hips. If you're finding that this is a bit too heavy on your wrists, feel free to bring your hands slightly forward or slightly out to the side. This should alleviate some of the pressure. And also feel free to come down to a child's pose whenever you feel like it. So coming back to our tabletop position, we're going to start off by doing some gentle cat-cows. So on our next breath in, we're going to be breathing in, looking up towards the sky, but feeling your spine vertebra by vertebra, lifting your tailbone towards the sky, dropping the belly towards the earth, with your head traveling up towards the sky very last. And breath out, tucking the chin, reaching the back towards the sky, and tucking our tailbone below us. And breath in, we're going to be reaching our tailbone up, lifting our head towards the sky. And breath out, tucking the chin, rounding the back, tucking the tailbone in. And do this a couple more times, following your own breath, focusing on that feeling of motion of your spine. And one last time. Breathing in and breathing out, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone in, coming back to a neutral spine. On your next breath in, bending the side body, looking back towards your right hip, feeling the nice stretch in the left-hand side of the body. And to the other side, looking towards the left hip. And again, bending towards the right. And one more time, bending towards the left. Settling down that movement and coming back to a tabletop position. We're going to be reaching the arms in front of us, keeping the hips pointed towards the sky, and inching the hands out towards us. Bringing the chest as far as you can towards the ground. This is just a nice way to open up the shoulders and stretch them out after a long night of sleeping. And if it feels nice, dropping the forehead towards the ground. And taking a few deep breaths here. This is called puppy dog pose. And on your next breath in, coming back up towards a tabletop position, bringing the hands back below your shoulders. So on our next breath in, we're going to tuck the toes and start pushing your weight back towards your heels, lifting your knees up off of the ground and coming into our first downward dog of the day. Because this is our first downward dog, you can keep the knees nice and bent. If your heels are off the floor, that is perfectly alright. But keeping the arms nice and straight, trying to maintain that straight line of your spine, with your head in between your arms. And walking our dog out, as it is our first downward dog, waking up the hamstrings and shaking the hips left to right. You're just going to pedal your feet, lowering one heel to the ground at a time. And settling down that movement. On your next breath in, bringing your left knee towards your left elbow, keeping that core nice and strong, and bringing your left foot in between your hands. Dropping the back leg down and untucking the toes. We're going to be lifting our arms up towards the sky. You'll feel a nice stretch in your left hip. But now we want to remember that we don't want to be bringing our hip all the way down to the ground. We want to make sure that we're still just nice and kind of in a straight line. We don't want to be pushing it too far. So up in our nice lunge position, we can drop the left arm down to the side and just reaching over to the left hand side, feeling a nice stretch in the right hand side of the body. And bringing the hands down to the earth, in both on the inside of your left foot. Just coming into a nice lizard pose. If you feel like shaking this out from side to side, feel free to do that. And if you want to roll out the left foot to give a bit of a deeper groin stretch to your left hand side, I quite like to do that. Staying up on your hands or even coming up onto Spider-Man fingers if you want a little bit more lift in your chest. And settling down that movement, tucking the back toes, lifting the knee off of the floor, and bringing the left foot back behind us, pushing back into a downward facing dog. Shake it all out. On your next breath in, coming into a high plank, and breath out, lowering down to the ground, chaturanga. Lowering all the way down, and breathing in to a cobra pose. Remembering to keep those glutes nice and tight. That'll protect our knees and our lower back. And breathing out, pushing back to a downward dog. On your next breath in, bringing the right knee to the right elbow and stepping the foot in between the hands, dropping the back knee down to the earth and untucking the toes. Lifting the arms up towards the sky and coming back to that nice hip stretch. Again, we can drop the right arm down to the ground and just stretching over to the right hand side, feeling a nice stretch in our left body. And bringing the hands onto the inside of our right foot and shaping our lizard pose left to right. Remembering that if you want to roll the right foot out, feel free to do that to get a nice added groin stretch. And holding here for a few breaths. Remembering that the deeper we breathe, the easier the stretches will feel. And slowing down that movement, tucking the back toe and lifting the back knee, bringing the right knee back behind us and pushing back to a downward facing dog. On our next breath in, coming back up to high plank, lowering down almost towards the ground in a chaturanga and reaching up into upward facing dog. And on your breath out, coming back to a downward facing dog. Pedaling your dog out once again if that feels nice. Settling down that movement, and on our next breath in, bringing the left knee towards the left elbow again and stepping the foot in between the hands. Stepping up into crescent lunge and rotating that back foot coming in to warrior two. In warrior two, we want our back foot facing the side of the mat and our front foot facing the front, keeping a bend in our front leg and keeping our back leg straight with our arms up in front and behind us. On your next breath in, reaching your back arm down over your hamstring and lifting your front arm up towards the sky, coming into reverse warrior. Breathing out. And on your next breath in, bending onto that front leg, reaching the back arm out towards the front of the mat, coming into side angle pose. Now when we're in side angle pose, we don't want to be resting all of our weight onto our front leg. We just want to be gently placing it onto our knee. Taking another breath in, coming back into reverse warrior. And back to side angle pose. Cartwheeling the hands down to either side of our foot and stepping back into downward facing dog. Shake it out again. Taking a breath in and coming into high plank, down into chaturanga, breath out. Breathing in, upward facing dog, and breath out, back to downward facing dog. On your next breath in, bringing the right knee towards the right elbow, stepping the foot between the hands, and stepping back up into crescent lunge. I'm just going to turn around so that you can see me. And coming back into our warrior two position. Breathing in, coming into reverse warrior, and breathing out, coming into side angle pose. Breathing in again, reverse warrior, and out, side angle. Straightening out that front leg and bringing our feet to face the front of the mat. Next, we're going to be coming into a wide-legged forward fold, which is one of my favorite ways to wake up the hamstrings. And so when we're bending forward, we want to make sure that we're hinging down at the hips, keeping the straightness in our spine. I sometimes find that it helps to keep my hands on my chest and on my belly to make sure that the distance stays the same the whole way down. Otherwise, you can just bring your hands to your hips, and we're going to start hinging forward. Keeping our neck in line with our spine too. If you want a slight bend in your knees, feel free to keep that bend there. And once you've reached horizontal, you can start to relax your front body, bringing your head down towards the ground, just relaxing it. If you want to bring your hands to your elbows and just rock side to side, that feels nice. This can often be a really nice way to open up the lower back. Taking a few nice deep breaths here. And on your next breath, reaching over to the left hand side, holding onto the shin or onto the ankle, keeping the leg as straight as possible. You should feel a nice stretch in the hamstring. And holding here for a couple of breaths. If you find that this is too much, just come back to center and you can hang out here for a little while. And releasing, coming back to center. On your next breath, coming over to the right hand side, holding onto the shin or onto the ankle. Feeling that nice hamstring stretch again. And releasing, coming back down to center. And on your next breath in, rolling the spine upwards with your head coming very last, coming back to standing. We're going to turn our left foot forward, coming back to crescent lunge, bending that front leg, arms towards the sky. And on your next breath in, shifting that weight to the front foot and pushing your body to the front of your mat. Releasing the arms down and giving that a bit of a shake. On your next breath in, reaching the arms towards the sky and sitting back down into chair pose. So we want to feel as if we're sitting on a little chair behind us, keeping the arms up towards the sky and hinging slightly forward at the hips, keeping a nice straight spine. Remembering to breathe here. On your next breath in, reaching the arms just a little bit further and releasing, standing up, bringing the arms down beside you. Now we're just going to play with a little bit of balancing before we finish off. And so we're going to shift the weight onto the left foot, bringing the hands to heart center, and start lifting the right foot. You can bring it to your calf, or maybe you'd like to bring it all the way up to your thigh. I like to keep it on my calf. And just holding tree pose for a few moments. If you fall, that is all right. And releasing down, shaking it out, finding the weight between our 2 feet again. We're going to shift it onto our right foot, hands back to heart center, and slowly lifting the left foot off the floor, finding your calf again, maybe your thigh. Just trying not to place your weight onto your knee joint. We'd rather want to rest it on a muscle. Keeping that core nice and tight will help you keep your stability. And releasing down, giving it a nice big shake. On your next breath in, reaching the arms up towards the sky, hinging down at the hips, coming down into a forward fold. Want to bend the legs as much as possible, coming into a quick ragdoll, so holding on to the elbows. And just continuing all the way down to the floor, sitting down onto your mat. Coming to an easy seat, whatever you find comfortable. If it feels more comfortable to put a blanket or a pillow underneath you, feel free to grab one of those. And we're just going to do a couple of little twists before finishing off. So on your next breath in, bringing your left hand to your right knee, right hand back behind you, just looking almost to the back wall, just bringing a nice gentle twist to your spine. Breathing deeply here. And on your next breath out, releasing, coming back to center. On your next breath in, bringing the right hand to your left knee, left hand back behind you, and looking towards the back wall. And releasing here. Giving your body a nice big shake. I hope it's nice and warm after that. I know mine is. And closing down the eyes. Leaving the hands wherever they feel comfortable. And just focusing your attention back onto your breath. Taking a nice breath in. Holding at the top. And releasing. Another breath in. And breath out. And taking a moment to say thank you to yourself. Thank you for taking the time to invest in your practice this morning, to do something for your body, bringing movement to the start of your day. And remembering that intention that you set at the beginning of your practice, taking that into the day that follows. And opening up the eyes when you are ready. Thank you so much for joining me on this practice this morning. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to leave a comment down below and to like and subscribe to this channel so that you can see more videos in the future. I'll see you next time.